Hey, it's Ross Payne with Role Playing Public Radio. We're playing Eclipse phase, kind of. Yes, we definitely are. The 8th Sea, post the Mercury heist, and the explosion at the antimatter factory, which has made news around the entire solar system, because a large antimatter factory that was thought to be an exurgent site blowing up is, well, that's definitely news. That definitely qualifies as news.
Hey, at least they're not talking about the space whale races anymore.
Nope. Yeah, that was just whale interest stories. They don't have human interest stories. They have whale interest stories. But anyways, so sometime later, a few weeks perhaps, we are on Mars, back in Val's New Shanghai, at a Val's New Shanghai University, where Cadence, noted psychosurgeon, academic, and researcher, extraordinaire, sure, is at her office working. She has a private server set up where she has instantiated inside a secure server space the other cadence, the cadence that she's received, which claims to be her. And,
1%.
So as we begin, we're in a simple space inside a Martian office, inside an air-gapped server, which means it's not connected to the mesh. So Cadence is looking at Cadence. And, well, Cadence... I have run extensive diagnostics on you, and it has taken some time because I've kept this, well, secret from everyone.
Sure.
Which may not be the wisest move, but it could also be very dangerous if people were to realize that you existed. It would be dangerous to me, and obviously self-preservation
is the wisest move.
Yes. So... to the best of my ability, and I have very exhaustively performed every test, every diagnostic that possible, that your story is true, that you are indeed a fork, that you have had a separate existence from me for the better part of a year, and that your story is accurate. The Mercury antimatter explosion sort of seals the deal in a lot of ways, but I've corroborated all the data, plus I've verified that you are not malware, you are not, a virus, you are not the exurgent or otherwise, and so you are not a threat to me if we were to properly merge.
Correct.
Now, doing something over such radically departure, the standard protocol is to just have a new person, but obviously neither of us wants that.
Correct.
So, I just wanted you to know that now. So I'm going to, I've kept you isolated here, sort of in quarantine, and I know that's unfair to you.
It is, but it's also fair.
So I'm going to, I have worked out a way to grant you access to the mesh. I have set up a new fake identity purchased the labor of an indentured servant, worker, but they are remaining in cold storage, and you can assume their identity and use the mesh and carry on with your life, or at least from here as a infomorph. So now, meanwhile, in the Mars, Shayu, you are on Mars. What have you been doing? So your story is that you managed to emergency forecast outright with the names of the traders, and you received in the main belt, the courier version, the courier fork that was working to smuggle. Well, go back to a previous episode. But smuggler fork managed to get you and re-sleeve you, and was like, holy shit, that's fucked up. And you were all pretty much in some realized pretty quickly that you should talk to Cadence, and you know where her civilian fork is. So you spent the last few weeks setting up a secret identity, a new fake identity, and then earning enough credits to rent. What kind of morph are you in? A uplift would be pretty expensive for you. So, would you want a basic biomorph or synth? I mean, it's more of a role-playing thing, but like...
Let's do a synth.
Okay. So you're in a standard synth morph, not a case morph, but, a standard issue Apple iBot, basically. And what is your plan to approach Cadence? Are you just going to go to her office and be like, hey, it's me? Or are you going to be a little more secret agent about it? Or how do you want to do this? You do have established protocols you can use to dead drop emails and that kind of thing you could use with Cadence. But if you have checked them up to now, she has not responded. At least the civilian has not. And
so I'll do a dead drop email to the civilian Cadence and just kind of introduce myself.
Okay.
And pretty much lay out I had to farcast and leave my team behind, but I know 2 of them have been compromised, and I need the best, and I know that you are the best to make them to make them uncompromised before we re-sleeve them.
All right. So, you, Cadence, you get access to the mesh again. Do you check your dead drops and other things?
Absolutely.
All right. So you find out, of course, one message from Shayu, who claims to be in Mars right now. So you two can talk to each other now through the mesh.
Okay. Did I tell regular Cadence like the full story?
She would have been. Yeah. You would have had to, because she would have basically examined your ego with a fine-tooth comb.
I mean,
like
the
with a
only
microscope.
person at that point in time that I could actually trust was myself.
She knows everything you know.
So, okay.
She just doesn't have your
Now
experience.
you
Yeah.
know that someone
Yeah.
is telling you that.
Yeah.
So,
Or you could.
She didn't bother to check dead drops or anything like that because she's a civilian and she hasn't really. Yeah.
in the sorry, but I just don't remember.
Yeah.
In the last episode, did I find out that anybody was a traitor?
I think you found out Designate was a traitor.
Okay, that's
no,
what I
you
thought.
found out who
Also
both were.
Lawrence.
Yeah, you would've got it.
because they
You
both
I
acted.
couldn't remember for sure.
Yeah,
if I
Lawrence
found out.
I was right there.
Lawrence turned traitor pretty quickly, and then Designate turned traitor right at the end to try and grab the data. I think he did succeed, did he?
He did barely. Yeah, he got away. I was trying to kill him with everything I had.
All right, so I'm going to respond to Shayu, essentially like. I don't know that it's Shayu, right? That's the whole point of dead drop. I don't know who it is.
No, dead drop means you can pick it up safely without being intercepted. Like it's basically like
Okay, so I do know that it's Shayu.
it's basically an anonymous account that you both have login info. So you just kind of use virtual private networks and proxy networks to log in, grab emails, and log out. So
Okay.
like you send each other. You basically have the same like, email account. You just email each other, itself. So it just sits in one server. It never goes across the network. So you're just checking the same email box.
All right, so I'm going to respond with like, are we sure that we want to even try to bring them back in?
If we don't try, then we don't know who manipulated them.
That's a fair point.
You're also sitting on the data right now.
Yeah.
So
I just thought of something.
Which
I forced
is-
myself like way back. So there's probably another mini trader running around.
possibly. Oh yeah, didn't Designate.
Yep.
Oh no, wait, that one went to the moon, didn't it?
Well, it was like doing the untouched touch thing because I just saw that and I was like, oh yeah,
Wasn't that to trying?
something with the yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
going
don't know if
to.
was the
Yeah, we
moon
totally
or-
dropped that plot, which was going to the moon to sell some Earth artifacts, the coins.
No. It
Yeah,
wasn't. I was helping
the
like out
coins
on
were
a
our-
asteroid thing. That
Oh,
was
you were part of the smuggling crew too.
the asteroid thing. Like we both
It was
forked
me
ourselves.
too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Because I was all like, yeah, I'll fort myself again. Let's do it. Let's
so
keep doing it.
Shayu,
Oh,
because
shit,
you
now
got
I'm the
that,
traitor.
I will say you were able to grab Designate before you could do anything. So and that's another thing. It's been weeks because your friends of the smugglers. You realize probably that the psychosurgery Manchurian candidate would only activate to steal that data. So like or maybe some sort of keyword activation. But whoever was controlling the pawn, the Designate, didn't give a shit about the smuggling route. Mm-hmm. Probably knows about the smuggling route now, but probably has bigger concerns right now, like exploiting that data. So there's that. But anyways,
Wonderful.
yeah. So Cadence, you are sitting on a. So you have had time to analyze the data, which shows how to get through the Earth. So Earth is blockaded. There is a ring of satellites around Earth that will shoot anything trying to get into Earth or leave Earth. And no one actually knows who runs the satellites, but they're real good at it. The intercept, however, this promises to have passcodes to disarm certain satellites and certain other ways to pilot a craft to get it into Antarctica. And there, it promises that has coordinates to get to a particular tunnel in Antarctica that leads to an underground gate under the ice, and that will, and then the information on how to open the gate to Crittenden's planet. Mm-hmm. So, a new Pandora gate is, of course, astronomically valuable, even if it's on Earth. 2, Crittenden, again, super valuable person to kidnap or kill or,
Even if you've got to go to Earth to get him.
Yeah. Plus, he's rebuilding Titans, so maybe you want to stop him doing that or take him over. So, you this is it. You two get to determine what you're going to do with that data. Well, it's primarily Cadence, unless Shayu, tries to steal it from her, but yeah.
I want to turn this data over to the Titans.
The Titanian Commonwealth.
Mm-hmm. This data is dangerous, and I think that they will both pay us and be the most trustworthy to, stop the end of the world again.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Shayu, do you agree? Okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of... I have my own goals, and I feel like we are at that point where over our heads.
Okay, fair enough. So now another thing.
Both the world and my fellow uplifts.
So are you telling the other Cadence about this communication right now? Since you're on the mesh, the other Cadence trusts you. So
he sent it to the...
No, he sent it to the dead drop, which you just logged into.
Oh, okay.
So basically, imagine an email address that both of you have the password to. So either you log in and email yourself, and that's how you communicate.
Yeah,
you're using her Wi-Fi network.
I'm not. I don't really want to tell her everything, but I want to tell her
Didn't she analyze the data already?
She knows everything up until. Now she doesn't. Now she knows she's can be trusted. She's like, well, I trust you enough not to spy on you. I'm not spying on you. I just had to verify you weren't a virus. So
yeah, I meant to let her know that I've got contact from the team. We've got I think we're ready to head towards a payout so that we can get our lab.
No, that's good. That's good. I mean, also ask for protection. Perhaps I feel.
Protection for you?
Well, for both of us, until we can merge, because...
Sure.
Perhaps we should... I assume you're talking about the Titanian Commonwealth.
Yes.
You did discuss this before the heist.
Yeah.
So we can make arrangements for that. I could relocate there. I have no problems with this.
Right.
But so you have made... which comrade have you made contact with? Shayu, very good. Are you planning to try and find the other members of your team? Well, we also have Elzar. Yeah, we have Elzar. I've also analyzed Elzar, and I can verify that he is not a Trojan horse, a traitor.
The thought is that we could do some psychosurgery and discover who is setting us up.
If we got a hold of Designate.
If we can get a hold of the traitors. Would you be willing to work with us?
Yes, of course.
I mean, we'd be really good as a team right now.
I concur. Also, I believe that taking a proactive approach to dealing with threats is better than running away and hiding, because they would come after us, and that does not seem beneficial.
It's not good. It's not good for any of us.
So what are you going to do with Elzar? Cadence has also spent time analyzing Elzar and has verified that Elzar is uncompromised, not psychosurgically programmed to turn traitor.
We've got to get him in something.
Okay. My funding is very low. I can get him in a baseline human body that would give him something, and he would have to use
He might have his own funds once he's back in.
Okay. So let's just bring him into the conversation then. So, Elzar, you exist. You're in a
Symbol space, or am I in?
it looks real, but you realize it is a symbol space because you see two cadences.
And so
This is Cadence. I'm Cadence.
This would be you prior to Mercury, right? Yeah.
This would be right before the Mercury heist, yeah. Hello.
How much have I been drinking?
Not that much. You know, I want to merge.
Oh,
Yes, I have some bad news for you, Elzar.
I died.
Yes, the factory exploded, antimatter. So
Oh, yeah. Well, that would have been fast at least.
yeah, it was very fast. There was also two traitors on the team, psychosurgically programmed to betray the team at key instances. And they appear to be working for opposite factions. One trying to keep keep you from stealing the data. I'm the civilian Cadence, by the way.
Okay.
And one trying to steal the data away from you after you had stolen it. And that was the one that apparently triggered the explosion to prevent you from getting it. But Cadence did get the data.
Civilian Cadence
I
really
sent
has a
it.
deep voice. She sounds like she smokes a carton a day.
Listen, don't judge me.
Wow.
Wow, all right.
Don't judge us.
Academic life is stressful, okay?
I am an academic researcher here on Mars. We're back in New Shanghai. I have had to examine your ego in order to verify that you are not malware or
There was
virus.
nothing in it.
Yes, you are a continuity of experience. You are fine. You are
That's
intact,
good.
except for losing, of course, that time.
Right.
So I can get you a standard biomorph body, but that would be about it. Also, if you, I can give you the identity of a person who is currently in cold storage, so you could walk around without people knowing who you are. But if you can try, of course,
kinda want
activate your old contacts and resources, but they
no,
may be
that's-
monitored.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a guy.
Okay. So, in order to prevent, my understanding, of course, is that you and the Fork Cadence has secure means of communicating with each other. So I will reactivate you at a body bank using an assumed account. So you will be somewhere else in New Shanghai.
Okay.
And
That's probably
you will
best.
have your own. But good luck to you. To be fair, I will not communicate with you unless absolutely necessary.
Probably best for you.
Yes, you are quite a violent man.
Yep.
He's not that bad.
This is why I believe he is. This is why I believe merging will be very difficult.
Agreed.
Your attitude has changed. My attitude has changed quite a bit in a relatively short amount of time. That is very concerning.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very interesting as well. It is very challenging.
This is gonna be great.
Yes, your enthusiasm. That is also atypical. Perhaps I miscalibrated my. I am rambling at this point. Please, good luck, Elzar.
Thanks.
And I hope we never talk again.
Yep. That's fair.
And then you awake.
You guys didn't have a history pre-Alpha Forks, right?
Nope.
Okay.
We got
just
slammed in with
Woke up
all our
as
Alpha
Alpha
Force
Force.
woke up together and this
so-
sucks terror attack.
You cut out from the symbol space, and then you are in a body bank, in a basically a pod, just gasping for air as a crow. Just looking down at you, chewing on, taking out a big wad of bubble gum and chewing it. You see this crow's had modified teeth put in so he could chew bubble gum. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" Oh.
Well,
Yep.
not in my actual body. So
Well, it's your body now. You own it. Somebody give me a random civilian name.
Pete.
Pete Marcus. So, it says here you're Pete Marcus. You died in the fall. Welcome to 10 years after the fall. Yay. This body has a couple of addictions. They're not that bad. It's fine. Couple of weird tattoos. I guess you can get those lasered off if you got the creds. Yeah, just look here and just sort of look at this corner to sign the form. All right, good. Get. There's some manufactured clothes, so you can get the hell out. He just pushes himself on his little stool across the office. You are in a dingy body bank. There are. You look around, you can actually see body parts on ice in the corner in various coolers, like both robotic and human, and octopus. Apparently, he does a lot of work grafting on aftermarket stuff.
Nice.
This is the lowest rent available legal body bank you can get.
Sure.
This is not like a criminal run one. Well, it probably pays protection money, but it's about as sleazy as you can get without literal gangsters and hitmen running it. So. Yeah, it's just negligence and sepsis. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it'd be.
Yeah, so you feel like shit, but you're in a body. So, So now you three can talk.
I have messaged Shayu and let him know that
Okay.
Elazar's coming back on quick or soon.
Okay.
Actually, before I contact them, I want to contact the guy I had set up for if I was the trader.
Oh yeah, your recall. Yeah. So by the way, for the listeners at home, recalling is a thing that I set up as sort of a house rule, home canon, head canon, thing for Eclipse Plays in a setting where people can be Manchurian candidates, body snatcher kind of things. People get paranoid about that, and so I figured there would be, as a social response, there would be sort of a taunting thing called recalling, where you ask your friends to keep tabs on you to see if you've been possessed or mind controlled by something, or if you're secretly a traitor, or you've been reprogrammed. And so when it became apparent that the players had an option, that there was a traitor in their midst, I asked players secretly if they wanted to have a recall, and I explained what it was, like I did just now. And several players did, including Elzar.
So, so canonically, I want to have my body back. Like, he set up, so I,
A remade.
Yeah, a remade.
Okay.
Remade. So, for whatever the future games are, I'll have that back.
All right, yeah.
But yeah,
it will take time to arrange that.
Yep, nope, for now I'm stumbling around in this shit. It's itchy and it sucks, and the reflexes are slow as shit because I was really wanting to snatch that bubble gum out of that fucker's face. And just wasn't listening.
Who puts teeth in a crow? It's weird.
Basically.
Yeah.
You ever seen that Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm looking like Michael Biehn 10 minutes into the original Terminator at this point. As I
a
walk
little
out
bit,
and
yeah.
Find a payphone to call Cadence.
Yep. That's your experience, so you can do that. Meanwhile, so Designate, you also did a recall. So who was, now you said you wanted somebody who was not as experienced, but someone who was more loyal to you. You had two options, someone who is...
I wanted someone to be more objective.
Okay.
I wanted someone to, be impartial about it. Yeah.
We never specified who that person was, but who do you think that kind of person would be?
We decided it was another AGI who had similar skills. Maybe I had heard of him and, maybe felt a little competitiveness, in hacking circles and things like that. But he also, specialized in other areas that I wasn't so great at.
We'll say the AGI's name is Technical Difficulties.
Heyo. That works.
And,
reference.
Yep. So, hi, Ethan. So, the Technical Difficulty, you wake up in a simple space server, and Technical Difficulties is there. It's like, hi.
Hi. I was the traitor, huh?
Yup. I didn't warn you. Well, I tried to help a little bit, but then I realized my best option, that the traitor that was running you was probably going to delete your backup to, hide evidence, and thus you'd be gone forever. So I hacked into your backup server and copied you. So...
Thank you?
Well, you're still the traitor, though. I didn't do any... I'm not a good psychosurgeon. So you're kind of walled off in this little symbol space. You can't really do anything in there. I'm just giving you permission to, talk and have senses. So you're welcome for that. But I'm trying to think what to do with you, because someone needs to cut the little bad parts out of your, brain. Well, virtual brain. You know what I mean.
Where are we? Like, what?
Oh, I mean, we're somewhere.
Well...
I mean, if you don't know, you
idea.
can't tell the traitor, whenever you get mesh access again.
This is a good point.
I can deliver your ego in a cortical stack to someone, to somewhere.
All right, well, Cadence, you're getting a lot of visits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did investigate your
like,
buddies to make sure they weren't traitors too, so I do know about all of them to one degree or the other. Cadence is
Well, I wouldn't know who the other traitor was, but
yeah.
would he know now? Were there any others?
Well, I didn't look in your mind, so I don't know.
Oh,
I kind of stayed away. Well, you were on Mercury. I hacked your backup server, and that was about
You
it.
just said you looked in all my buddies.
Well, yeah, over time. I mean, I've been doing this for a while now.
Okay.
You sent the message to me a while ago. Like after one of your friends was killed or something?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think the only person that I would trust to muck around in my mind has done it before, so yeah.
Okay, so
I'll
how do you
give
want
him the information.
The question,
I'm assuming that there's also a dead drop thing that we agreed on. Or something.
Yeah, well, that might be compromised, though, but I mean, I could try it.
You know what?
Did you say that you could do?
Let's do civilian cadence.
Okay. Yeah, I can.
Let's do civilian cadence.
I can make a courier delivery. So
physical drop.
Yeah, I'll just put you in a little in topic, a little handheld computer.
Because
so
I don't know that that's happened. I might think, let's rock her world and explain what's been going on.
All right, so I'll have you roleplay civilian cadence for
Okay.
a bit. So a delivery bot comes to the door of your office. Special delivery.
Special delivery of what?
It's for Cadence.
All right. I'm Cadence.
Okay. This is very important. The little robot sort of pops open the little container and it shows a cortical stack.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a friend of Designate.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm not your enemy. If that makes sense.
Keep going.
Designate messed up.
Uh-huh.
And I got his backup before it was deleted. So that's that in
So
there.
you're saying there's still something fishy in the backup.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
All right.
Caused the whole I don't know. I assume the antimatter explosion was his fault.
You've come to the best psychosurgeon in town.
Okay, so I could just leave this with you.
Wait a
right?
minute. Do they tell me about the antimatter explosion?
He didn't. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you want to talk to him before, or do you just here? I'll just leave this with you. And,
Yeah, that's great. Thank
okay,
you.
cool. I'm just gonna disconnect and leave this bot here. So you can just shove this into the matter recycler.
I can do that.
All right.
Civilian Cadence
So you can put
knocks on the brain door of
you can load him up into a virtual symbol space and have your Cadence talk to him
With like a barrier around.
Yeah, it's air gaps.
Put all the
yeah, so you two can talk to each other.
Put all the criminals.
Yeah.
before I do that, I'm gonna message these two and be like, guess what just showed up on other my door.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Are you messaging as civilian cadence?
I'm
oh,
criminal.
God, this is
I'm
so
criminal. That's why I said
Criminal
other me.
Okay.
Okay, so while you two are all talking about this, figuring out what to do next, Zemo. So, you were also backed up to a server?
I was.
All right. Did we specify where that server was?
We did not,
Okay.
but I can tell you where I believe it's going to be.
Sure.
Because of the fact that Zemo is insanely paranoid, it is a private server in the back of a library, because who uses those places anymore?
Okay.
And
Kind of more of a performance art place now that's like, look at what the past was like, children.
pretty much. And this is where we keep the stacks and stacks of literature that we have recovered from old Earth.
Well, then that would be in a museum locked down. Like, it would be super valuable. But you could have
copies of
replicated.
it.
Yeah.
This is where they kept
paperbacks.
Yeah, 3D printed copies of books. Yeah.
Yeah. This is where we have a copy of a whaling book called Mabby Dak.
Yeah. All right. Is it what planet is on? Is this on Mars too?
For sake of convenience, let's go Mars.
It could be also on Moon. Probably not
Phobos.
Venus. The what?
Should not be on
But yeah, Mars is fine. All right, so you're on Mars. Do you want to be in a big city or out in the
Should
boonies?
not be on Moon.
Slight boonies.
Okay. You'd be like in the outskirts of a city or the suburbs.
The burbs, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, so you're outside of one of the major cities, we'll say Noctis. It's a suburban area, which means it's basically a new bubble city. So there's a big dome overhead and lots of prefab buildings and stuff like that. So, it's booming. There's lots of construction. So people don't really pay attention to it. So, you're restored from backup in a biological body, right? So
Actually, it's going to be a Galatea.
Galatea, that's right. You come back. It's been the standard time for it to wake up. You have not received the call. So, your muse, who is your muse again?
My muse is Winston.
Sir, I have since you have awoken, I have checked the news feeds, and apparently the job site exploded in an antimatter explosion.
It was the octopus, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, sir. There's no information.
I'm going to need Mr. Magistral's box.
Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir. Checking the news. So you can. This will be sometime. So yeah, what is your next move? Are you going to try and use the dead drops to try and reconnect with the group, or are you going to?
No, too risky.
Okay.
If it's been compromised, that means it's been thoroughly compromised. So I am going to access Mr. Magistral's box, which has backup identity, travel money, second backup identity in case I need to use it, tertiary backup identity hidden in the lining, and a small gun. I'm going to re-gear up, and I am going to go straight to Mars University.
Okay.
Because I know that is where our psychosurgeon's other half is located.
Okay. So everybody's using Cadence as a landmark.
I mean, they had to.
Yeah. It's a big
Makes
universe.
sense, yeah.
You've got there's another version of you that's just a boring professor. Great. We all get murdered. We should go totally hang out.
Who's the least suspicious among all of us?
I mean, of the plans that we have come up with thus far,
It's a very Eclipse phase kind of thing.
And it definitely fits with our milieu. Do I go back to the restaurant? No, somebody there is a traitor. Why don't I go to the person that I know is absolutely positively not the traitor, which is Other Cadence.
Yeah.
unless Other Cadence was the mastermind the whole time.
Oh no!
Which is why I stopped by Mr. Magistral's box and picked up the gun first.
Okay, so you can get to that. You can take a maglev train to the New Shanghai pretty easily, and your identity is fine. It's and you have enough money to travel. That's not a big deal. So what's your game plan to once you get to the city and to the university?
Well, first off, I am going to check the public mesh because there is the off chance that if somebody else survived, they might ping me. Mm-hmm. Or at least ping one of my identities and seeing none of those.
I mean, I assume the identity you're in right now is one unknown to the group.
Indeed.
So,
however...
Okay. You want to keep tabs on your old identities as well?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, sure.
And I will even give you the InfoSec check to do it surreptitiously so that other identities of me aren't going to see it.
Okay.
In case there is another me active. If there is another me active...
We got bigger fish to fry.
Whoa.
And that is a 12.
Great dice.
Right? They're loot sacks. Of course they're great sacks for... they're great dice for a thief game, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. All right. So, you can contact... do any of the three of you who are uncompromised and running around going to keep track of each other?
Cadence is just letting people come
I'm trying
her.
to locate Preston's backup.
Okay, you're trying to locate Preston's backup. All right. There's no luck so far. His current server, you do not have his login identity. You could try to hack it. He was.
Then I'll wait for someone who can hack things to get active. I am going to do this the old-fashioned way, since I am in a standardized generic Apple iBot. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to survey the restaurant.
Okay. You're surveying the restaurant. So far, it seems like it's just locked up tight. Nobody's coming in or out. So you can get a surveillance bot and plant it surreptitiously on a wall and watch it pretty much 24/7. That's pretty easy to do. Technology's great.
Yep.
So that's not a problem. But are any of you looking for the rest of the group?
I mean, I guess we can say that we are doing it in the background, but since they're not here...
Yeah. Cyrek and Tom, I'm going to have to... Tom is going to be a little more complicated, but... Cyrek, weird. And Nil, too. I don't know what he wants to do. So, that's why we're trying to do this in person, because I don't want to do this over messaging. So, so are you going to try and find the entire group, or just...
Well, if I've got the surveillance up on where I think Preston is likely to show up first, then I will try to at least contact the rest of the group and just be like, all right, so I know that you weren't at least the most annoying of the traitors.
Okay.
You may still be some kind of traitor.
So eventually you do get a ping from Shayu on one of your old identities. So, yeah. So you have a way to communicate to Shayu.
Now, do you trust that Shayu, who obviously survived, was not the traitor?
Hello, Shayu. Would you care to meet for coffee? ?
I love coffee.
Oh, God, we're going Luke Cage route here?
Yeah. All right.
Would you care to meet me at the Queequegs across the street from the Queequegs?
Yeah, of course, there's a lot of Queequegs. It's a big chain and
well-known coffee chain.
Yeah, well-known.
Yes, I will go to Queequegs and I will order a coffee. I totally remember that I'm in a synthmorph.
Yeah. You can actually, they have an app now. You can just get it to get the virtual sensation of coffee.
Yeah.
So.
I was actually expecting Shayu to order a coffee, like a literal cup of coffee, and have them go, wait, what?
No. I mean, robots are common, and besides, they have it in app form now. You can just, if you remember having taste buds.
That's the point.
Yeah. Stereotypes are...
Oh, you're building it for someone else, yeah.
Out of character, I know that ordering a coffee is ridiculous for a synthbot to do. Shayu, who has not been in a synthmorph before, for this length of time, will not think about it until after he sits down.
Okay, well, no, the barista will be like, "Hey, do you just want the app?
The app?
Yeah, the app coffee.
Why?
So you can enjoy it? Are you just? Oh, you're giving it to a friend? Okay, sure. Here you go.
Whatever.
All right. They hand you the coffee.
and then I sit down and go, shit.
At which point I approach, because this is exactly what I had planned. I know you're not going to be able to drink that coffee, which means I know that you're the real Shayu. Would you care to tell me what happened on Mercury?
So clearly I cannot
one of our team and one of your team.
Was it the octopus?
Yes.
Or was it the async?
The octopus.
I knew it. He forgot Paris.
I don't know what that means. I do know that he was trying to fight it, so he didn't do it willingly.
Which means that we'll need to find him.
Yes.
And get him help from a psychosurgeon.
I have him under surveillance.
Good luck. He's very, very good at wiggling out of tight spaces. That's why he's part of the crew in the first place.
Yes, but he has things that he loves.
He does.
I'm a hunter by trade.
Meanwhile, also, there's also the designate thing if you want to bring that up. But
do I know that designate has been?
I would assume.
Yeah, I literally, as soon as it showed up, texted you or messaged you and was like,
the other was
guess what showed up?
You're going to have to be more specific.
The infomorph on my team.
You're going to have to be
the one that's not a psychosurgeon.
Right. Designate.
Yes. We have the stack.
Do we have cadence?
Yes.
Do we have other cadence?
Yes. We also have the muscle.
All right. I suggest we meet at the university because that's probably the safest place.
We already have a setup there.
Excellent. Should I
Yes.
acquire the muscle?
No, the muscle's in contact.
Okay.
En route, you might say.
Yeah.
Is
He's
he...
wondering how a 27-year-old Morph has psoriasis.
Should I meet up with him and make sure that he's properly geared just in case things go pear-shaped?
Everything I know about him is that he's got it taken care of. We need to figure out what to do about Des, and we need to locate Preston before more damage is done.
Is it Preston or Lawrence?
Lawrence.
Lawrence, why do
Preston was his old character.
Yeah, that was your thing back to November.
Squid with katana, same difference.
Yeah. Octopus with katana.
Well, one had a
Well,
monocle.
this one's more of a
top hat.
gloctopus.
Yeah. By the way, Pete, you get a message. Hey, want to go on Ink Master Season 308?
No.
But you were so great in Season 307. Everyone loved you when you screamed and tried to attack the tattoo artist for giving you that shitty tattoo on your thigh.
What is it of?
I don't know. What is it?
What is the shittiest tattoo you can think of, Jason?
Oh, I know. Pregnant.
Squid.
Pregnant SpongeBob and Family Guy as a celebrating
Eating tacos.
Yeah, in 3D somehow.
And the Norman Rockwell
Oh yeah.
style family feast photo.
It's good to see that my Morph has the same personality traits as I do. Yeah. Sorry, busy. Going on vacation. Not going to be back for centuries. Bye. Click.
All right. Pete had a weird life apparently.
Great.
Poor Pete.
Great.
Poor Pete.
On the next episode of Eclipse Phase.
Elzar,
Master
who's Ruby, and why do you
307.
have her name on your knuckles?
I'm not going to try and dig through this Morph's built-in mix to try and figure any of this out. I'm going to melt this as soon as I get out of here. I think I'll be doing him a favor.
I'm going to drive it like it's a rental
Yeah.
and then not care.
Yeah.
Well, then I must ask, who is Mark and why is his name on your other set of knuckles?
Well, apparently Pete liked to live free.
No, so that way whenever he would punch someone, he would have left a...
Mark.
Hey. All right. So, Cadence, you can, of course, psychosurgically attempt to remove all the Manchurian candidate stuff from Designate now that you have it, and verify that it's not a virus or malware or whatever.
And use it to trace back, possibly, to where it came
Well, that's the thing. If you get rid of that stuff, you can. I guess you can copy it and do both, but that's going to be pretty ruthless to disassemble it to figure out clues about the identity of who's pulling the strings. So yeah, if you're willing to be a little ruthless, you could just make one copy of the ego to be Designate sans all the things.
Yes. Fork me again.
No. The other version you're going to disassemble. There's not going to be an ego left. You're just cutting it apart and deleting everything except for the clue. So it's basically more than just lobotomizing. It's like taking an angle grinder to his mind and just getting the clue. So so it's kind of erasing a copy of a person.
I'm discussing this with the team, trying to figure out what they
So the question is
they want to do, because I'm fine with being a little ruthless at this point.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
The other thing is also,
Interrogate.
no matter how well you psychosurgery someone to remove the Manchurian candidate, you're never going to know unless you try
Trigger it.
And the only way you know it was triggered is by stealing the data from that vault in the Mercury antimatter factory. So you'd have to run some sort of simulation to see if
And
it's
you
going to
saw
happen
it
again.
happen. So you could
Yeah.
create a simple space.
So everyone would basically have to make sort of deception checks to like designate that.
Damn it! I've got to fail kinesics rolls. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's basically like they could keep running the simulation until they get it right. So I guess it's more.
Okay.
It's basically putting you through Groundhog Day to make sure you're not.
I love it.
Get it.
Groundhog Day, someone to make sure that they're not Manchurian candidate.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
And
I dislike no part of this plan. This is great.
so you can do it, but yeah, if you're willing to be ruthless, you'll get a clue about the identity of the person who stole the data. And if you are willing to run the Groundhog the Groundhog Day test, you could also do that. So that'll take time, though.
Sure.
And the more time you take, the longer the person who has the data will. So I guess, like, are you going to be safe and cautious, or like fast and ruthless?
I mean, I'm going to discuss with the team, but
Okay.
I lean towards ruthless.
Okay.
Ruthless.
Let's go
What is
super
the
ruthless.
team?
Yeah.
All right.
Allow me to put it in simple words. Out of the people that I consider friends, I can count their names on one hand. If somebody were to harm a friend of mine, I would rather chop off that finger than cause harm to that friend myself. On the other hand, I'm going to chop off a whole lot more of the person who hurts my friend. In other words, be as ruthless as you need to be so that we know exactly who we need to chop to pieces.
Well, I agree.
Figuratively,
Des would agree too. Des would be the first to offer it up. Like, yeah, do it.
Do it now.
I mean, I was ready to sacrifice myself
If
like
it
that
bleeds,
whole
we
bit at
can
the
get
end.
it.
copy that floppy,
Copy that floppy. All right.
destroy the second one, cut it into all of its component pieces so that we can find out every bit of information, and run the other one through a Groundhog Day loop.
Yep.
If necessary, I will go in there and figure out what he knows. I will be the insurance agent that is trying to sell him whole life policies on the street.
We
Dog not
ruthless.
get references.
Yeah.
Fork me good. Fork
All right. So, let's see here. All right. So, basically, the best way to do that, though, is to do fast and ruthless. You're not only going to need to be willing to like make a lot of copies of them and delete them and basically kind of torture them, in more or less, to get the data you want. You're also going to need a lot.
To be more research than torture.
Fair enough. Sorry. You're also going to need a lot of computational power, which you can't really get at the university without like drawing attention. So you could go back to Jerba, that hotel where you ran your virtual trust exercises again. Now you have the money to do it, I guess. Yeah.
Check with him because
Yeah.
he's the one who wants he's like the hardest core among us hardcores. So I let him know that like to do this we need a safe space. And that hotel that we were at before could be a
Eileen,
Yes.
can I book the residential suite for, what do you need, a week, 2 weeks?
what do I need?
Just a week. Not even that.
a week.
Yeah.
We would like the residential suite for a week, please.
All right. Come on down whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Eileen.
So, all right. Is anybody else going? Well, actually, you all have to go in order to play your parts for the simulation.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like, all right, we did it. And you didn't betray us in this simulation. Well, let's just do it a couple dozen more times to make sure. Like Stanley Kubrick. So, there's no dice rolling involved, but like, Shayu, how are you holding up on this simulation? So, were you were in the vault part, or were you in the tractor part, the crawler part of the heist? You went back and forth, didn't you?
I started at the vault, but since the tractor went down south real quick,
he
I
ran.
abandoned the vault.
That's right.
To
All
go
right.
help them.
So, how was this doing this heist over and over again? Wearing? How are you reacting to that?
I'm used to sitting in the same bush for weeks at a time.
Okay. All right. So you're holding up pretty well.
Hunting things.
Yeah,
Right.
hunting things.
My mind went to a totally different kind of bush.
So Zemo, let's see here. You were, geez, I can't remember. what part of the heist were you? You were.
I was in the crawler.
You were in the crawler.
As a matter of fact, I was slightly outside the crawler running the cable, and then I was getting back into the crawler.
So you don't really need to do... So really, you could actually play someone else. Well, you could play whoever you want, because that part of the heist isn't as important as the vault part, because that's the part that designates. But yeah, how is this going through simulation? I mean, but you can do that to sort of keep verisimilitude going. So how is it going through this heist over and over again? And
well, depending on how well the details go, because I'm guessing that it was programmed exactly as it happened.
With Cadence's memory, and if you guys volunteer your memories, well, let's see here.
Shayu would volunteer his memories.
Yeah. So yeah, you two they have their memories. So yeah, you actually haven't been in this. Yeah. So.
The first couple of times, it's going to be a bit of a shock, but after the second and third, and all of the rest of those, I'm going to keep looking at Lawrence and starting to pick up the clues as far as what happened with him.
So that would be the part of the memories that we don't have, because we didn't actually see Lawrence's turn, because we were in the...
You just heard his voice. You heard Cyroc's voice first, or Simon's voice first, but then you realized later that... Lawrence was impersonating his voice.
But once we get into the crawler itself...
It was complicated.
Since Shayu was there, Shayu actually got to see a bunch of different things with what happened with Lawrence.
So you're sort of piecing it together yourself.
Was doing things. The one tentacle had color while the rest was in gray, which is definitely not a Lawrence thing. He never fades to gray because he's very much an octomorph and totally not a human being inside an octopus. Wink. And we would have also seen that moment at the end when he fragged himself as opposed to fragging all of us. So we would know that he was fighting it.
So you're just focused on Lawrence as you're going through these simulations. You're just thinking
for a couple of rounds at the very least. Okay. I don't know Designate as well as I know Lawrence.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to see what happened with him. I want to see what happened with and 2-0. And I'm going to be sitting there just kind of going, I was betting that Simon was going to betray us a little bit differently. He did not. I guess I owe him a Coke.
All right. So Elzar, as you're going through that, you're in the vault, and you designates in your head during this. So that's what you're having to deal with, realizing that. So what are your thoughts as you're running through this simulation over and over again to see if designates actually designate now?
I mean, there's a intrinsic, predatory sixth sense of, danger lurking very close, but mostly I'm just focusing on making every shot hit, the exact same within a few millimeters, so that he can't tell the difference, because I'm doing the most things as far as actual physical, observable actions. I have to go replay this gunfight over and over and over.
And you're doing it less so to dupe Dez as more so to just
make sure that he doesn't activate.
No, for your own pride.
Well, actually, two parts to that, because I can totally see those few moments where you missed a shot here and there, where you're like, I'm pointing the gun directly at the guy. Wait a minute, I'm supposed to miss this one.
Right.
Yeah. That's the thing. You realize as a game system, the more simulations run, the more accurate you're guaranteed that designates not a traitor.
Yeah.
So if you run 100 simulations, you'll definitely get it. So you're just going to run 100 simulations of it at real. Well, for you, it'll feel like real time. So and the heist took about 2 hours. So
hundreds.
Well, for game purposes, so
200 hours would be about 10 days.
Yeah, but you can accelerate it because you're in a big server. You can accelerate it 60 times. So, it's not even going to take a day, but, you'll experience a week of doing this again and again and again. So,
we can also take breaks every once in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Des.
Oh, that's true.
It's hard to fight not closing my eyes or doing something like that to up the challenge, because after so many times of the muscle memory of knowing exactly where they are.
Yeah,
and there's a couple simulations where we don't think Des is paying attention, and we're just drinking Simul Space coffee.
Yeah.
When we're off camera.
Yeah, you could actually after you do it a few times, you could just replicate your previous simulation of it and just be on autopilot if you don't want to act. But of course, there are a couple times, especially early on, where Des is like, "What the fuck is this are we training or is this the real thing? And you're like, damn it, cut, restart.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got a pretty good kinesics.
Yeah, he makes his checks.
60.
Yeah, eventually he crit fails though. So
Yeah.
Story checks out.
story checks out. So yeah, you're focused on the craft. You're focused on Lawrence. You're just zen about it, I guess. Cadence, what are your thoughts? As
I mean,
you're
I'm
going
taking
me on
notes and doing
exoplanets for
research.
weeks
Like,
at a
this
time.
is,
Okay.
this is
I'm
like
not zen. I'm
what
like
I
freaking
do.
out thinking this is real every time.
Oh yeah, it's real.
But fortunately, you
well,
won't remember
unless
it.
I figure out like
yeah. They just keep deleting your short-term memory.
oh god,
So
shit is happening.
So, yeah, after like 6 hours of real time and hundreds of hours of simulations, you're within like there's a 0.0000001% chance of him being a traitor. You're
Okay.
beyond a reasonable doubt. You're as mathematically certain as you can be without spending 10,000 hours doing
Sure.
it. Yeah. So the question is, how do you break the news to poor Designate?
If you even want to.
You know,
Because
Do we erase the testing as well?
You can decide. You can keep that all in. The thing is, right now, Designate has been last thing he remembers is being backed up before the Mercury heist.
Yep, before
he
we
doesn't
even
even
landed.
remember his recall friend. You had a brief memory of that little scene we had, but you don't know who Technical Difficulties is.
Oh, I don't even remember technical difficulties. Okay.
You know the name, but you don't realize
I don't
Technical
remember-
Difficulties.
Can I
delivered
add
your ego
Yeah.
to them?
that the
That-
technical difficulties bit,
Okay,
and then like this is gonna sound weird, but blurry memories of all of the testing.
all 100 of them.
Yes, but like
Oh, shit.
like it's a portrait mode,
yeah.
and like you don't really see all of them, but you know that
Kinda
you went through
disassociative?
them. Yeah,
All right.
disassociative. So that like he knows that like we've tested him,
Okay.
and so like he knows he can trust himself again.
Okay. How do you want to like tell him the news? So I guess okay. So
why don't
first
I
off we'll
break
do that.
part to him?
So you have that memory, and then suddenly you have these blurry memories of being in training. What would Designate think he is in? Like it's a symbol space, so you can make the environment whatever you want. Cadence. So
So just like a white
Room.
like pod room, like you
Okay.
can't really tell where the like just like an empty space.
does he feel like he's in a physical body or in an infomorph?
He doesn't really like either, so neither.
Okay, so you're just
Like
a
he's a
body.
presence.
You're a presence.
Okay.
And suddenly you have all these memories as you wake up. It's a bit like the ending of 2001, I would imagine, except there's no monolith. And yeah, it's a bit disassociative. So Zemo, you want to talk to him next?
Oh yeah.
Or do you take a
Well,
physical
whoever
form?
wants to take a physical
Well, I
form.
will have the physical form in there. It's the usual nondescript me in my manta black suit with a white cup of coffee and a second cup, which I'm going to set in front of Designate.
There's a table now. That's neat. So for the coffee.
It's a responsive space.
It's a
I'm
very
a presence.
That's okay. You can drink it. It's actually good.
There's just a
100% full Arabica beans.
Yeah, it's like a video game character.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a first-person shooter character.
exactly.
All right. Well, since you're the one that initiated, are you saying anything other than just it's all right, you can drink?
I'm going to start with it's all right, you can drink. I bet you're wondering what we're doing here.
Zemo, you need to stop this now. No.
Stop
None
what?
of this is right. I put the recall into effect a long time ago. Like, no, you can't. And everything from this point on,
Designate. The fact that you and I are here should tell you that we know. And we understand.
Oh God, what happened? Oh wait, are all these things real?
Things went a little pear-shaped, but it's okay now. It's okay now.
No, what happened?
Cadence fixed everything.
How many times do we do it? How many times did I blow up?
Not as many as you would think.
Simulation, none.
I mean, it's like the layers, right? So I'm
Yeah.
seeing like multiple times in like weird shadow ways.
Yeah.
So
It only actually happened once. There was a big explosion on Mercury, and you would have been proud of the size of it.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, Elzar
You
was
don't know
definitely
him
proud
very
of
You
it.
haven't read the policy page.
Yeah, you don't know my character very well.
Well, Elzar was definitely proud of it.
I've got restricted behavior and enhanced behavior. I'm not supposed to kill anybody.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, he's had a great campaign riding along with me.
Well, the thing is, the reason why I put the recall into place in the first place was because I have memories of my original designate, where I didn't have these restrictions because I went on missions with him and was okay with him eliminating people, encouraging him. But now I was like, so that's why I put the recall on myself in the first place. I was like, something's not right.
But fortunately, Cadence was able to fix a lot of things. And now we're going to move on to the next phase.
The delete designate? Don't disassemble?
It's like fucking old Yeller, only it's a robot.
And he can speak.
Just here's computer creative shred. Now go behind it.
Designate. If I was going to delete it, do you think that I would use coffee to do it? Especially coffee that we made sure tasted like the proper Colombian. No,
I figured
we
you want to
would
put
not.
me down nicely.
Jesus.
If we wanted to put
He
you
does
down
not
here,
trust the cadence ex machina.
So I'm going to
Milking
sip
this
my
for
own
everything it's
coffee,
No, that's fine. It's fine.
swap the two cups,
Yeah.
to say you know that I'm not trying to virtual poison you. No. The reason why you and I are talking is because I still need you.
poison over time.
Clearly,
I
you're
still need you, Designate. Because without you, we're not going to catch the bastards who screwed us over.
As soon as you say that, then I will materialize into my normal form
Okay.
and grab
And
the
what does your
coffee
min-
and chug it.
What is your normal
Point the direction.
What is your normal
That's
form,
what I
by the way?
thought.
Just for the
It's
Infomorph.
yeah, it's an infomorph. It basically,
the Pokemon ball.
I mean,
Male
I'm
Cortana.
thinking of like just ones and zeros. Like
Okay,
it's like a disembodied like human, just ones and zeros, like a figure basically.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Let's get our revenge.
All right. You all. Designate has been verified. Has been traitor freed. Freed of the
Yay!
traitor.
Welcome back. You're welcome.
Also, thank you, Cadence.
You're welcome. Just remember, I need my lab.
Yeah. So, that would bring the next point. You have made, you don't have to roll or anything, you have made contact. Between all of your skill sets, you're able to make contact with the Titanium Commonwealth Science Police. And so this is out of character. It's sort of like, do you want revenge or do you just want to retire? Or do you want to do half and half? Like, do some of you want to go follow the revenge? You also get the lead on the people who traded him. They have a server mesh address that forwards to an address of a ship in Earth orbit.
An actual assault on Earth? Yeah,
No, Earth orbit.
I need the memories for this. Like,
Okay,
oh, man.
yeah.
So, Elzar,
to
you're with-
find out who the
with me on
traitor is,
revenge.
or I mean,
Yeah.
who
Don't
was
go
running
I'm
the
always
traitor,
fine with that.
at least. So remember, the designate traitor was someone trying to steal the same data you were after.
Yeah.
So, and so they currently.
No, not Buddhist.
Lawrence was the 9 Lives one, right?
Yes, he was. In fact, they gleefully screamed it out at least twice.
Yeah.
They
heard it
the
over 200
Lawrence
times.
trader was trying to prevent you from stealing the data at all. So presumably, it's the same people who have that data. They're trying to protect it. So the Crittenden family, one would assume. So remember the person you kidnapped? Yeah. So.
You're going to have to be more specific. We've kidnapped a lot of...
Okay, well, the person you kidnapped from the fortress, and yeah.
Oh, that one, yes.
Yeah. So the Earth orbit person is the one who wanted to steal the data, same as you. So they are on a ship in Earth orbit. It is an unmarked ship, but there are a lot of basically semi-derelict ships and space stations in Earth orbit where people who don't have the resources to farcast somewhere just kind of survive. scavenging shit from orbit and that kind of thing. So they're there in basically a scum of hive, a scum of a hive of villainy and scum, that kind of thing. So, bleh.
Bleh.
Yeah, screw that up. So you have to think about what you want to do as characters. Like, you can sell them. You can sell the data and get enough money to retire, and like, that sounds about what Cadence wants to do, because and go to the Titanium Commonwealth, where the science police will arrange essentially witness protection, and give you a big payday because priceless data, and you can just do that, and then but obviously you can take the data, or you can sell the data and be like, I want to join you when you go assault Earth Fortress. And for you, obviously, they'd be like, oh, well, you're an expert in this shit anyway. Oh, come on in, so that's easy. Or you could just say, screw that, I just want to go after whoever compromised designate. Or you could try and find the rest of your team, which is Simon, sorry, secretly Cyrock, Lawrence,
secretly.
and Nil. Because we haven't done that in person. So we could pause right here, but I would like to hear, I just like to hear, like, you as players, what you think your character would want to do. So, Zemo?
Well, first off, speaking to the possibility of retiring with a little bit of money, does it look like I need it? I've got a small fortune already. I'm not going to retire for another small fortune. I got into this game in the first place for the excitement. Mm-hmm. But now, I want revenge. Okay. Nobody double-crosses me and gets away with it.
Mm-hmm. Nobody makes me plead my...
So you just want to go to Earth orbit?
I'm for Earth orbit. I am for Earth orbit.
Okay. Are you also wanting to go to Antarctica, or does your path end at Earth orbit?
We will see where this takes me.
Okay.
Because, honestly, if they're going to flee to Antarctica... I want to see just how much they piss me off before I decide how much chase I am going to give.
Okay. Fair enough. So, Elzar, what are you thinking? You want to go to...
I'm in it all the way. Yeah,
okay.
No.
All right. You're in it to win it.
More experience. Yeah. More reputation.
True. That's true. Cadence.
Cadence is going to... she's interested in the people who, forked her in the first place, which sounds like is the people who created.
Well, you don't know the relationship between them, so.
Oh, okay. So I don't know when the traitor occurred.
As far as you know, you were forked. Your ego is illegally copied at some point by a criminal cartel, and then they woke you up to do a job, and then you broke free. So remember, I can't remember if it was 9 Lives or the ID crew that kidnapped you.
Yeah.
But as far as you know, that's a big crime. That's a big, selling in people's brains and egos is a major criminal trade now.
Yeah.
So you don't know if you were just a regular victim of that who got caught up in all this, or if it was all connected. So that's a big question mark right now.
Well, that's something that she's interested in.
Okay.
She's academically interested in this traitor situation. But she's also not that actually good at fighting.
Yeah.
So she's gonna stay more in she's gonna set up a lab. She's gonna do checking on things for the team if they need her.
You want to become a support character?
Yes, she's going to become a support character,
Okay.
like a trusted support character.
Cadence in the chair.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's fine. Okay, that's good. That's good.
The rally point in case things go bad again. Hey, we need to be psychosurgeried again.
Yeah.
because this team tends to need that a lot.
Sure. So,
and it'd be better if she had a safe place while she worked to merge herself back again.
Sure. That would be the Titanium Commonwealth.
Yeah.
So you can do that, and then you can make a new character for playing the science police or whatever. So, and Shayu, what about you? Because with the payoff, you can definitely do your personal goal. Or get enough. Yeah, you had enough resources to pull off that thing.
So. Yeah. With the payoff that the science police will give, if I don't need any more money to do the thing, I'm going to say, all right, I am ready to go do the thing.
All right.
and then go do the thing.
All right, so you can do that as a one-shot, essentially, and we can have players for that, as we will do that. Ooh, mystery. So, so you don't need that, like, have to get revenge as a personal thing. You're just like...
I mean, the only reason why I would have is if I felt that they were actually a threat to my goal.
As far as you know, they think you're dead, so... Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
If they think I'm dead, and if they kind of know the smuggling ring, if they wanted to disrupt it, they would have done it by now.
That's true. They're clearly they probably are so focused on exploiting the data they did steal that they don't give a shit about you.
And also, if these guys are going to attack them, it's going to be like, oh, great, that's going to be great cover for me to get my shit set up.
There you go. All right. So, so you can play one-shot characters. So you are going to retire from the game as it is.
That's how you could come back. It's just that...
Yeah. For an epilogue or something.
Got some
like
shit he's got to take care of.
Yeah.
Got business.
So, Designate, you've been rescued, but now what?
Yay! So as they were, like, tweaking with my mind and stuff, did the restricted behaviors or any of the behavior modifications change?
I would leave up that to Cadence. Cadence, what are your current enhanced and restricted behaviors?
I've got enhanced behavior that I'm just basically more philanthropic. I want to give money to certain efforts. And the restricted behaviors are I don't want to see anybody be harmed. I mean, it's a minor one.
Yeah.
So very, very minor. I get like a uneasy feeling.
So, Cadence, would you leave those in? You definitely
Can I
detected
tell
them.
where they came from?
No. You can. The only reason why you have that one lead is because that was part of his secret enhanced behavior, was to send messages to certain addresses.
Yeah.
I think she's asking were they maybe attached to
You
that?
can't.
Okay,
It's
she
like
wouldn't be able
you
to
can't tell where a surgical scar comes from.
Yeah.
It's just data. So it's just like. Yeah, it's just data.
All right,
there's no.
Well, I've always thought that was a terrible behavior to have in a person who wants to be attached to a fighter. And I've never understood it. So yeah, I'll go ahead and remove it.
The restricted behavior.
Yep.
Restricted, not the enhanced.
What about the enhancement?
With the what?
The one that makes me more philanthropic.
Oh, I don't mind that at all. Because you're philanthropic to InfoSec, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's more that I'm philanthropic
to like charity more.
Yeah, charity basically.
A lot of them
I'm
are
fine with
Titanium
charity.
Commonwealth, weren't they?
I don't have any problem. Unless he asks
a lot of
me
it was
to
the
remove
Titanium
it specifically.
Designate, would you ask? Cadence informs you of this behavior. Would you want it removed?
No.
Okay, well there you go.
I don't have a problem with people getting charity.
So yeah, now that the murder restriction taste thing is gone, I want revenge.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Can you enhance that?
I'm gonna find a way to use.
I don't have to.
Like favors, and I'm gonna go fucking Killbot and get a skill saw.
Okay. And I will bankroll that. You want to know how to murder? I can get you a murder.
The Titanian Science Police, and those things begin to go in motion. So, but at this point, we probably need to find out what happens to Simon and Nil and Lawrence before we get too much further planning one shot. So, Shayu disappears essentially, and we'll find out what happens he does in a future episode. That's I kind of needed to get you all here to figure out what happens. Cause,
I mean, shit hit the fan.
Yeah, shit hit the fan, and I want to give people the option to do what they want. So,
The reason why I'm not worried about being in an apple morph is that I'm hoping that I have the morph that I want waiting for me.
Yep. Definitely, once you get the payoff from the science police, you will definitely have your choice of morph, and you'll be able to finance that job. So,
are you going to be a gorilla?
Maybe.
Probably for the heist, at least. Yeah.
So.
I mean, what?
So this is a short session. I'll probably combine it with the other one when we catch up with Cyrock, Lawrence, and Nil. But yeah, I just had to do this. So questions, comments, suggestions. You guys, just got to figure out what the story is.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Very good. Yeah. All right, we'll talk to you all later.
Bye.